Hello, everyone, and welcome to another elite episode of the Get Authentic with Marcus show. My name is Marques Ogden. On today's episode, we are joined by Miss Alexis Elliott. But before we bring up Alexis to the stage, I want to thank one of our amazing sponsors. Let's thank Legacy Venture Group, owned by Mr. Jack Brown. Legacy Venture Group helps you to get into the franchising space to either turn your business into a franchise or help you buy a franchise business from a franchisor. We thank Mr. Jack Brown and his awesome company for sponsoring this episode. Now, here she is, Alexis. How you doing today, Alexis?
I'm excited. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Alexis, first question, young lady. What does the word authentic slash authenticity mean to you?
Authenticity. Being authentic is being real and being vulnerable in who you are. Oftentimes, the world wants us to put on a facade that we're perfect and that we always have the answers for everything. But in this game of life, that is not the case. We're constantly learning. So being authentic is just owning that you're constantly learning, and that's beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this game of life, we don't know everything. We're constantly trying to get better and we're always trying to move forward and learn from our mistakes, and nobody is perfect. And she said it beautifully. Life is about beautifulness and saying, hey, how can I get better? How can I be better than I was yesterday? And just owning that and not trying to act like you're something that you know you're not, that you can't be, or worse yet, that you cannot sustain. Life is not going to be lived correctly or in its best way in that light. Alexis, please tell us a little bit more about yourself and the work you're currently doing now to help your clients.
Absolutely. So my name is Alexis. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. We're from similar stomping grounds. I joined the military, got out, and was ready to explore. So in 2023, I started traveling around the US by myself as a professional house sitter, and that was really exciting. I got to get out of my comfort zone, learn more about myself, and I got to explore through 20 different states that year. So it was pretty awesome. Excuse me. Ever since then, I've been just hopping around. So last year I was in Colombia. This year, I just came back from Costa Rica, and I've just been living life to the fullest, and I'm helping my clients do the same thing for themselves. I used to think that I would only be able to travel when I was retired and had all this money saved up or from my 401k. And the opportunity presented itself the beginning of 2023. And I was like, who actually said I had to do that? That is a box I put myself in, and I'm going to go for it.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the type of interview that I really enjoy because Alexis saying that, you know what? I put myself into a certain box. Well, I can't travel around the world, so I have this much money saved up in my 401k, in my bank account, in this asset or that asset. And then in 2023, she had the amazing opportunity to be a house sitter and travel all around the US. She went to 20 states in a year and lived life to the fullest. And now she helps her clients do the exact same thing. Before we get into your client base now, let's talk a bit more about what you did as a professional house sitter. First question: how did you get into that line of work?
Mm, it really just appeared to me. I was researching what can I do to travel? It was like one of the top Google search, but it wasn't really known at that time. So it really just appeared, and I just did research and I was like, okay, I think I can do this. And I gave it a shot. I went to Denver. I lived in Florida at the time. So that was a long ways away, but it worked out. And yeah, it really just, there's a quote that says, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And I believe that wholeheartedly.
Mhm. Love this. So, next question. What is your like tell us like give us like your job description as a house sitter. I mean, again, you don't just sit around the house and do nothing. Like talk about what that's like because I want people to understand that you took a chance on something new. did something new and you were able to see within yourself you could do greatness. And again, one of my favorite quotes is by one of my favorite actresses and directors. The comfort zone is where dreams go to die, Regina King. And you stepped out of your comfort zone and you went after something and you really were able to do something and push yourself. So, can you tell us more about what was part of your job? What was like your job task or your roles when you were house sitting?
I want to piggyback off that quote. I really like that. And there's one I heard that it's something to get comfortable, you have to get uncomfortable. So I love that because there's so much truth in that. Being a house sitter is honestly pretty easy as long as you love animals. You have to like animals. I have seen some listings where you genuinely just take care of the home, but mainly it's pet sitting more than it is house sitting. But you have some of the house duties like taking out the trash, getting the mail, that sort of thing. But I love animals, so that came naturally for me. So you're really just making sure that whether it's a cat, dog, fish, watched chickens sometimes, that they're,
Mhm.
taken care for, just like if the owner was still there. You're sending them daily or a few times a week photos, just check-ins, and just overall, hey, everything's great. I'm having fun too. It's really not a high pressure situation as long as you know how to effectively communicate for the person that you're house sitting for.
And that's exactly what I was hoping you would say, that last part. Effective communication is the key to her job. And she said it best. Her job is not a high pressure situation job. She enjoys what she does and she loves animals. Check. What she said, though, is that to do her job effectively to the highest degree, she excels at communication. Communication is the backbone of any successful individual, relationship, business interaction, professional, personal, whatever the case may be. Communication is everything. So I'm so glad that she said that. So now let's talk a bit more about, you said you did that for a while and now you have clients that you kind of help. Can you tell us more about what you're doing and what's that you're doing now and what type of clients are you servicing now in that regard?
Yes, absolutely. So it ties into both of my ventures. So I have a nonprofit called the Great Energy Movement. Our mission is to help people excel in their emotional wellness so that they can show up better for themselves, therefore showing up better for community and ideally seeing the world we all wish to live in. I believe that travel is a big part of gaining emotional independence and emotional wellness for yourself because it allows you to open your eyes, again, get out of your comfort zone and just experience things that you wouldn't normally in your bubble. So I help my clients jumpstart their travel dreams. And hey, it doesn't have to, again, take you being 50 years old with a 401k to do it. There are strategies that you can implement. You just may not know how to go about them. So I'm here to help you go about them and do it as stress free as possible.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Unless you have two ventures, right? So you help people with travel and you have a non for profit, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So let's focus first on the non for profit. What is the mission around and the mantra around the non for profit? Because I'm a big believer that branding is so critical, especially, right, Alexis, in non for profits. Because again, when people know your mission or slash mantra, they can then make a quick decision if they want to go ahead and work with you, get behind you, donate to you, all these type of things. So talk to me about that from you in that regard.
Exactly. So essentially, the mantra, so to speak, is bringing unity back to the community. And I just want to read what we have listed on our site because it just encaptures it so perfectly. We are a nonprofit organization that believes change starts with you. We exist to spark the inner work that leads to your self discovery and self love. When we heal within, we show up better for those around us, and that has a domino effect, the rhythm of a better world. Our mission is simple to shake things up, and that's exactly
Ah,
what we believe in.
I
So,
love that.
monthly to back that up, our main program is called Conversations in the Dark. We host that once a month, the last Saturday of every month. And it's essentially, we call it the kickback for your soul, but it has a mental health twist. But what I started seeing is that when you say mental health, people already get that stigma in their head of like, therapy and boring and talking about my feelings, but you can talk about mental health within community. It doesn't have to be boring. And oftentimes we're already doing it in our pockets of like friend groups. It's just we all live amongst each other, and community is so important now more than ever. So let's start normalizing getting out of our comfort zone, talking to people we don't know, and having real conversations of substance to get where we want to go.
Community is more important now more than ever. So true. Because so many people just feel isolated today, now more than ever. I don't know if you saw where the former Dallas Cowboys defensive end committed suicide. I think that was last week. It was in like late October, early November. It was in late October, early November. Very sad. He was a phenomenal football player playing for the Cowboys. He was actually the game before as a defensive end, he scored a touchdown. Like he scored a touchdown in the game before his passing, and he committed suicide, unfortunately. I tell people there's a lot of pressure when you're playing in the National Football League. I'm a former NFL athlete. I can speak to the pressure, sometimes the isolation. If your team's not winning, if things aren't going well, if you're not playing well, it starts to really mess with your mental health, your psyche, how you view yourself, how you approach everyday life. So, what you're talking about is so critical because we need conversations like yours to spark connection, togetherness, community. These things are so important to be able to bring some positive change within the community and within ourselves. So I love this. Another question around the non-for-profit. Who are the type of people that you all love to really connect with or help to connect to each other, right, Alexis, within the communities?
Absolutely. So this was something I struggled with forming the nonprofit because I was like, what is the niche? What is the niche? But I realized that we're talking to anyone who just wants to see a collective change within our society. I don't want to target to any specific demographic because our communities aren't one demographic. They're not just old or African American or Caucasian or through 50s through 55. It's everybody, and we have to learn how to effectively cohabitate with one another. And I'm realizing recently that community doesn't also mean that we're all best friends and it's all kumbaya, but it's more so again learning how to communicate with each other so that things don't get swept under the rug or things become miscommunications that escalate and it didn't need to. So anyone who just wants to do that, like see the change and be the change and learn with that together.
Ladies and gentlemen, anyone that sees that a change needs to be made and wants to be part of that change is an excellent fit for Alexis's non for profit. Fantastic. Because here's the thing, if you see that change needs to happen, but you're not working towards being part of the solution or to make that change for the betterment of your society, your community, and those around you, shame on you. Because at the end of the day, if your community is not a safe place to be in, or even a safe place to have a disagreement, that's exactly what Alexis said. We're not going to always agree. And you know what? That's okay. That's fine, right? It's not against the law to have a disagreement with somebody. As a matter of fact, disagreeing and having healthy conflict is good because what it shows people is you have a stance and you believe in something. And if you don't believe in something, you can fall for anything. True to the matter. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you're gaining great insight and knowledge from this segment because Alexis is talking about how to make the community, how to make who you communicate with, interact with, spend your time with better for you, better for them, and better for the environment that you all should be cohabitating and living in. Awesome. Alexis, let's now talk about your travel business. What sparked you to get into this business and help people who are trying to, wanting to travel more, but weren't sure about how to go about doing so cost effectively?
Mm. What made me want to do it? Really, the fact that I had to figure it out myself. And I know what that feels like. Every time I would go on vacation prior to that point, I just found myself figuring out when I can go on the next vacation. When can I travel again? When can I explore? And I was just like, if this is what I love to do so much, why not just make my entire life feel like a vacation, feel like what I love to do, what I'm passionate about? And I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. And so through sharing my journey on social media, I started connecting with other like-minded women, solo travelers, and we started seeing that okay, there are more of us out there, but there are a lot of us who don't even know how to get started or even have the belief that they can do this or even just find time to even go on a vacation, maybe not even be a full-time nomad. And I was like, yeah, I want to help those people. Like, you can explore. And again, I believe truly travel is what helps the world, fuels the world to become a better place. So also piggybacking off of what you just said, for the nonprofit and how they just tie together so beautifully because I have become a big part of who I am today is because of me solo traveling. Like I'm not perfect and I definitely wasn't perfect back then. And I had to learn how to see myself by being by myself and seeing that, okay, you're not the victim and you're not the villain. I'm just human and I'm still figuring that out even to this day. But it allowed me to see that and even have that level of consciousness.
You talk a lot about, looking at yourself in a perspective of always wanting to do better, knowing that you're not perfect, but also at the same time being your biggest cheerleader. And again, telling yourself you can do these things, that you can travel, that you can help others find the same joy. You can find a community of people that really feel the same sense of value, the same sense of beliefs, the same sense of like wanting the same things in life. Am I saying that correct?
Absolutely.
Before I get to the next question about how you help your clients, I want to share with you a quote, tell you who the quote's by, and then tell me what your thoughts are on the quote, all right, and how it really kind of plays out in your life, okay? Here's the quote. Never tell your mind negative thoughts in a joking manner. Your
Oh,
body cannot dissimulate the difference.
oh,
Words cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Choose how you talk to yourself and choose wisely. Now, do you have any idea who said that quote?
I have no idea, but they're a genius.
Okay, I'm gonna give you, let's just play a little quick game. He was in the 19, you're young, see, but you should know who he is. In the 1970s, he was considered the most popular karate actor, individual, person on the planet. That literally was everybody who looked at his movies was like he was just an icon as a karate martial artist and as an actor in that regard. Any idea?
I want to say Jackie Chan.
Not bad.
Okay,
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. Okay. Okay.
Not bad at all. So Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee believed that the words we say are going to impact our day. We just interviewed somebody. This is a great thing to add on. I'll get your thoughts on the quote. Whatever you're going to go and look for in a day, you're going to find. You
Mm,
look to complain or whine or gripe or poor me, you're gonna find that. If you look for greatness, great conversations like with Alexis, or great people, or great communication, you'll find that too. So
mm.
whatever you look for in a day, you're gonna find. But back to the first thing, what are your thoughts on that quote, and how can you apply that in the work you're doing with your non-for-profit and with your travel business?
That is a quote I live by because it's so true. And I don't think that it's not that it's difficult to apply. It's more so actually applying it in the moments that you need it the most. Because when it feels high pressure, high anxiety, high stakes, it's really easy to fall into the mental mind. And it's again being able to just step outside of yourself, even for a moment, and say, is this what I want to keep subscribing to. Do I want this to go differently? Yes. Okay, then let's just think towards that, even when and it's also difficult when the physical reality does not match what you're saying in your mind. That's just a quote I live by. Like, yes, it's true. You have to pour into yourself with words, with affirmations. Starting the day off that way makes it easier to have the mental fortitude to be able to switch gears when the moments arise, because they always arise.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm hopeful that you gained a lot of insight from that segment because what Alexis is saying is that if you don't live like this, if you don't talk good about yourself from the mental perspective, then on the physical side, it gets hard. Again, what did Bruce Lee's quote say? Your body cannot dissimulate the difference. If you call yourself stupid, this, that, and the other, your body will pick up on that. Your
And that,
body is going to play off what you say.
yes, and I'm sorry to interject. I
No,
just
you're fine.
not even just like how you're talking to yourself, like dictating your emotions, but how you speak dictates the actions of the day as well. And I'll give a perfect example. This weekend on Sunday, I joined a friend at a local park. Beautiful time, beautiful park. We found ourselves rushing out because it was closing, and I was following her to go get dinner. And about 10 minutes in, I'm like, oh, it's a little dark. I'm not sure that that's her car. Let me call her. Realize my phone is not in my car. And I'm like, I have two phones, neither of them in the car. Like, no, I pulled over. I had already lost her at that point. Finally connected, let her know what was going on. And I said, can you look? She searched for a while. She realized one of them was in her car. So I'm like, the other one is at the park then. Oh my gosh. And I was like, I just feel that this phone, I'm going to be reunited with my phones. Like, I'm not worried. I'm not stressed. It's just going to happen. The next day, which is yesterday, I woke up, got my first phone from her, and was able to navigate to the park. And I just felt it's here. It's at the park. It's at the park. I retraced our steps, didn't rush, just relax, was showing gratitude to be able to be at this park again because it was so beautiful. Came around, and my phone was placed right on like one of the cinder blocks where you parked. This was 1 o'clock. We left the park at 6 p.m. the day prior. So the fact that my phone was still there, safe and sound, and it was kind of raining on and off that day too. It worked perfectly fine. I'm using it right now. That is the power of the mind. Like, what do I deserve? Do I deserve to have my phone stolen? No, I'm a good person. I strive to do excellence. You know what I mean? So, no, you're telling yourself constantly what you deserve because you're affirming you. There's no one has more power over your life than you. So I just wanted to add that because it happens on a daily basis.
It does. It truly does. I love this for you. Last question, Alexis. When it comes to your travel business, your non for profit, you did, house sitting, pet sitting. What is one attribute, something like, and I call that like an inner, you know, force, like grit, determination, perseverance, resilience? What's one attribute that you use to not just start your businesses, but grow and thrive with your businesses through the different storms and adversities that you faced along the way?
It is something that I'm still learning and I believe will be learning until I leave here. Patience. Patience. Patience for business growth, patience for my personal growth to be able to know how to manage a successful business. And also knowing, like, in this society that we live in, that programs us to be so microwave with success and results, that it's not A to B, it's actually A to Z. And I'm learning how to enjoy my journey through the alphabet to my perception of success rather than just, why is it not happening? I know who I am. I want this. Da, 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 da. And I was stuck in that spiral for a long time. And now I'm just enjoying the ebbs and flows of birthing a baby because that's what a business is. So
That's exactly what a business is. And you have to birth it and you have to nurture, you have to add value to it, you have to be more credible, you have to build revenue, you have to build sales, you have to do with the marketing. I could go on and on and on. So fantastic interview. Just awesome, Alexis. how can our global audience get in touch with you?
So on all social media platforms, mainly TikTok and Instagram, I am the Travel Hippie, THEE, Travel Hippie. I also have a website, www.thetravelhippie.com.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, please go and connect with her. Check her out. And again, support her. Love the work she's doing to make an impact in her community and to help people learn how to travel and enjoy their life to the fullest. We want to thank our amazing sponsor, Legacy Venture, owned by Mr. Jack Brown, for sponsoring this amazing episode. And the authentic tip of this great interview, and Alexis talked about it at the very end. Create the perception, create the reality of the success you want for you. Don't try to create a reality based on what other people tell you should do or what you think other people want you to do, because all you're going to do is run yourself ragged trying to create or perceive something that others are wanting for you. So, again, bet on you, create a perception and then a reality. Because I always tell people your perception is your reality. Create what you want for your success, your prosperity, your fulfillment, nobody else's. This is your life. Live it to the fullest. Again, my name is Marques Ogden. I am the host of the Get Authentic with Marques show. Thanks for tuning in. Have a fantastic day. Okay. Ooh, perfect. All right.
Recording stopped.
Thank you so much.